How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another nightly review. Today, I will be going over the Golden Knights' 5-1 victory over the Anaheim Ducks, or should I say, Mighty Ducks, considering the jersey they were wearing. Best Anaheim jersey, by the way. It's a wonderful one. So, let's get into it. Starting off, it was Robin Lehner versus John Gibson. Again, they're going with the 11 forward, 7 defensemen, where Coghlan kind of plays fourth line wing. And yeah, we'll talk about the lineup later. Anyway, 28 seconds into the game, Chandler Stevenson scores from Max Pacioretty right in front of the net, takes a shot, and it's 1-0. And off the bat, okay, great start. Then Zach Whitecloud trips Ryan Getzlaf. Robin Lehner would stop Fowler on that penalty kill, and it was the league's best penalty kill versus the league's worst power play. So I think you can assume how well the Ducks power play did last night. So, yeah. Then Whitecloud would rob David Backes once he would get out of the box. Backes had a wide open net, and Whitecloud just put his stick in the way, and Backes didn't get the shot off. Then Nosek would go to the room. He would not return. I have not seen anything of how he's doing. Then Lehner would stop Welinski. The Ducks got a couple chances. The Ducks did far better tonight than they did their last few games. They actually got some decent chances, and they did get some decent offensive zone time. But Robin Lehner played a pretty solid game. He made some big saves when he needed to. And overall, he played a good game. Then Lehner would stop Jones, and then he would stop Welinski again off of the faceoff this time. But it would be Chandler Stevenson after that on a breakaway from Shea Theodore. A beautiful pass by Shea Theodore. Stevenson freaking roofs it on Gibson. And there you go, 2-0 right off the bat. Then Max Pacioretty would get a pretty big chance. Then Lehner would stop Getzlaf. And then Martinez would get a pretty big chance before the end of the period. But that was it for the first period. Honestly, before the halfway mark of this first period, this was the Ducks' period. They were out shooting the Golden Knights 9-2 at one point, I believe. But the period ends with the Golden Knights really pushed back, and the period ended up 10-9 in shots for the Ducks. So the Golden Knights outshot them, 7-1 after that. So kind of a weird period. But the Golden Knights would put the foot down for the rest of this game, pretty much. Lehner would stop Delorier. Then Carlson would get hooked, and there was no call. Right in center, right in the middle of the Ducks zone, and Marcia So said something that I can't repeat in my videos very clearly. And Dave on the call was just like, well, I guess there's a hooking call. And that was a pretty interesting call. It seems like there's one really bad missed call or call made when the Golden Knights play the Ducks. It's happened the last few times. But after that, Pacioretty would get... it seemed like he had a breakaway, and he got either... The breakaway got broken up. It didn't look anything wrong to me, but Dave said that there could have been a hook on the play. So I'm not going to go with that there was a hook, but if there was, man, the refs made 2 missed calls, back to back. But eventually, Alex Pietrangelo and William Carrier would get a 2-on-1, and Carrier would make no mistake off of a pass from Pietrangelo, and he just put it in the back of the net, and there it is, 3-0 Golden Knights. Then Dylan Coghlan would get a chance after that, and then David Backes would trip Zach Whitecloud. The Golden Knights did nothing other than Lehner robbed Grant shorthanded. Grant was all alone in front, and Lehner robbed him. Then Delorier would rough Whitecloud. I don't know what the Ducks' problem with Whitecloud was. He wasn't doing anything. He was pretty noticeable this game. Whitecloud had a pretty good game, other than, of course, the penalty in the first period. But Whitecloud had a pretty good game. I thought he played well, especially defensively. And I thought he was pretty noticeable in the defensive zone. And he even got a few chances offensively. So I think Zach Whitecloud had a pretty good game. And, yeah, then Lehner would make, after those 2 power plays the Golden Knights did nothing on, Lehner would make a stop on Jones, and then a huge stop on Rickard Rakell. Then Whitecloud would get a chance. Marchessault would then get stopped by John Gibson, and Sakura would get a pretty big chance before the end of the period. But After that, the Golden Knights come out of the second period 3-0, and shots there are 8-6. So Golden Knights kind of putting some distance in the shots at this point. They really did it in the third. But yeah, one thing I have to say about Dylan Sakura and Tomas Yurko is those are the kind of guys that you want later in the playoffs. Because those kind of depth guys are really valuable in the playoffs. And I think both of them have had a couple good games. I think Sakura's been the better of the two. But I think near the end of Yurko's games, both of them played pretty well. So those are some pretty good depth guys that you're going to want later on in the playoffs when your team's getting injured. So in the third period, Carlson would get robbed by Gibson. And then after that, Sam Steele would score. It was a total scramble. The puck went off Leonard, then off the post. The Golden Knights tried to keep it out, but Steele pushed it in. So Steele gets the goal from Terry and Volkov. And yeah, then Carlson would get robbed again on the breakaway. Carlson was all alone on the first chance, and then he was on the breakaway the second chance. The Ducks' defensive play at certain points of this game was rough, especially here. They allow Carlson to go in all alone. Then they give Carlson a breakaway, and Carlson was not going to be denied forever because then they give Marchessault and Carlson a 2-on-1. And this was one of the weirdest plays I've ever seen. Never in my life have I seen a goalie seconds apart make a save of the year and then allow a goal literally on the same play. So he robs Marchessault on the shot, and the puck goes in off Carlson, and then it goes off Raquel, and it goes in. I didn't even know what to say after that goal. Like, never in my life have I seen a goalie make a save of the year candidate and then get scored on immediately after. Like, it wasn't his fault, but if you're the Ducks, what are you doing? So you allow Carlson to go in all alone, then a breakaway, then a 2-on-1? Now I see why you're at the bottom of this division. Also, another thing about the Ducks. How are you under 5% on the power play at home? Listen, I know that the Golden Knights have not had a good power play this season, but under 5% at home? Like, they're 10%, like, for the season, which is last in the league, but they're below 5% at home? I don't even know how that's possible. You gotta score at some point, don't you? And that means that the Ducks are, relatively, it's bad, but it's not horrible, on the road, where it's like somewhere like 15%-ish. But 5% at home? Also, the Golden Knights after this game have double the amount of points in the standings that the Ducks do, and the Ducks have played more games. The Ducks have had a shockingly bad season. I didn't even think they were going to be this rough. It is very rare where there are two teams in the same division, and the team in the lead and the team in the back, the team in the league has double the amount of points. Like, usually there's, 20, 30-point gap, but not double the points. Ducks are having a rough year. Anyway, off of that tangent, then Nick Waugh did not play in the third period. So, if you're keeping count, that means that the Golden Knights were playing with 10 forwards, one of them being Dylan Coghlan, a defenseman. So 9 forwards by the end of this game. They play Colorado on Wednesday. Please, Lord, allow the Golden Knights to get healthy on this wonderful 3-day break that they have, that they've been blessed with. So, please. I don't want to play with 9 forwards against Colorado. That just sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. Then, after that, Shea Theodore would take a huge shot from the point, get his 7th of the season from McNabb and Stevenson, making it 5-1. Stevenson's 3rd point of the game, and Shea Theodore's 2nd point. So, Shea Theodore, I believe it's 3 games in a row now. He's had multiple points. And, yeah. Then Alex Tuck would trip Walensky. Ducks did really nothing on that power play of note. After one thing that they did mention also on the broadcast, Alec Martinez now leads the league in plus minus. So just attributes to how good Alec Martinez has been this season as the Golden Knight. I know a lot of people don't like the stat plus minus, but if if you have a high or a really low plus minus, like compared to your teammates or something like that, then you know that you're doing something right or wrong depending on where you are on that spectrum. So I think plus minus can be a useful stat, especially for defensemen mainly. But it is good to see Martinez leading the league in that category. Stone would then get a chance, and then Janmark would get held by Shattenkirk with about a minute and 45 left. And at that point, it's over. The Golden Knights got a couple of chances on that power play, but you're up 4 and you get a power play with a minute and 45 seconds left. It's over at that point. Like, it's definitively done. Like, there's no weird flukes where the Ducks are going to score 4 goals to tie up the game if they take a penalty. Like, that's just not going to happen. I can't imagine any power play where they've allowed 4 shorthanded goals in if you did, you get relegated to the AHL. Like, that's what they should do. If you allow 4 shorthanded goals on the same power play, you get relegated. Now, that's not going to happen, obviously, but yeah, it was over at that point. So shots in the third, 14-8 for the Golden Knights. Total shots in the game, 31-24. And that was it. The Golden Knights get their franchise record 9th win in a row. And my 3 stars, I got to go with Chandler Stevenson, 2 goals and an assist in this one. Shea Theodore with his goal and an assist. And Robin Lehner for playing a really good game. I know he allowed that goal, but I don't know a lot of goalies who aren't going to allow a goal like that. So, a good game for Robin Lehner. Underrated in this one. Also, Alex Pietrangelo had 2 assists. I know that his point scoring has been his point scoring has been a little underwhelming, but this is a weird season 1, and 2, he's picks it up. He's shown some flashes of his offensive skill, and I think it's still there. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. So I had to watch the game today because I just wasn't able to last night. But that's it. So that's why this video is coming out a little late, and why I didn't put anything on Twitter last night. But going forward, if you want to get my thoughts on the game during the game, you can follow me at 2_pad. And that is it for this one, guys. I will see you next time.